Hello, friend. This is the time again for pro advice, and our attorney, Barton Strock, is back to our show with a very sensitive and important subject. It is how to deal with the nasty neighbors. Because a lot of time we hear from our clients or friends that okay, I have this neighbor is doing this something, the party, the sound, the music, whatever it is, it can be different things. So let's welcome Bart, welcome to the show, and
Thank you,
thanks
Sean.
again thanks again for coming in and share your knowledge. I know a lot of people know you still. Let's a little bit talk about yourself, how long you're doing business, your company, and a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so I'm a partner in Strock and Cohen Zipper Law Group, which we are now known as SCZ Real Estate Law, to show that that's what we practice, all real estate law. In addition, what a fancy microphone. In addition, I'm also one of the partners in Safety, Title, and Closings, which handles the transaction end of our practice, issues title insurance, and does residential and commercial closings. I've been a lawyer in Florida for 42 years. Most of that is strictly real estate. And probably a lot of what I learned is not from law school so much as watching deals fall apart. And in many cases, due to realtors' failure to wrap up that deal and make it happen right.
Yeah. One thing, Bart, you just say, and I like to say something about that. The laws are the same, or of course there's this amendment, but every file is different. Every client's, is different. So, and I really like to thank you for you, Adam, Julie, and all your staff, all your attorneys, like to be there for us all the time. One phone call, like I never saw like then attorneys, they give their cell phone number to the realtors, and you guys give it all out, and you are reachable anytime we need. And I really want to thank you for that. We are our office, me, Arusa, and our office, we are doing business with you like almost 20 years. It will be, and thank you very much for that.
Most of this morning, that's what I've done. I've been on emails or phone calls with realtors, giving advice.
Thank you. So let's get to the subject. So did you hear about this also from a different client about they're having trouble with the neighbors?
I have heard about, for the past 40 years, I have heard about homeowners, renters who have had problems with the neighbors. Thankfully, it is not that often, but it goes back to the beginning of time, I'm sure. And it manifests itself in so many different ways.
So let's pick one story at a time. So one of the thing we hear, like say, suppose someone living in a condo or townhome where you sharing the wall, and in the middle of the night, maybe the next door neighbor is playing video game, and you get that sound. What can someone do in this kind of situation?
So it depends. So in a condominium, you got an extra level of government to help you. It's called the condominium itself. So the condominium, before you get law enforcement or courts involved, the first thing is to turn to the condo and say, look, this is what's going on in my house. I've seen that in my condominium, where they actually sent the security guards up to the complainant's unit to listen to the noise and try to determine what it was, where it was coming from, and if it was something that could be done. So the condominium does have the power to issue fines, whatever. The second level is that nuisance, disturbing the peace, whatever you want to call it, can be both criminal or civil. So the second level is you call the police and make a record of that sound. They're going to come to your home. They're going to listen to it. All this at 2 o'clock in the morning. And if none of that works, I mean, the third thing you could do is you can sue this person for nuisance. So in order to sue for nuisance, they have to be making what's called a very unreasonable noise, so that it's not just minor annoying. It has to be something. I'm trying to think of the exact words, but it's got to be something that interferes with your ability to enjoy your own property. So if the video game next door is bum 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 bum, which could be other things next door, then and if it wakes you up, that interferes with your ability to enjoy your property. So there's the condo, there's the police, there's civil courts.
Okay, that's good to know. Now, the other thing we hear about in a single family home neighborhood, say suppose someone has a 2-story house, and then when they open the window, what they see that neighbor next door by the pool and walking naked. Like now it's a family, have kids. They can't even open the window. So what can someone do in this kind of situation? Same thing?
You could open the window and stick your head out and laugh and embarrass them. But that all depends upon, first of all, what they look like. Same sex, opposite sex. Is it worth looking at? Not, of course, you don't want your kids looking at any of it.
Yes.
That is a police issue.
Okay.
If someone's parading around naked in the pool next door and they are not private, then that is a police issue. That's a criminal act.
Okay, so that's a criminal act. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's even though they are inside their premises or inside their fence, but because it's visible from outside, so it's considered as a public.
Yes.
Okay.
How come I don't get those?
Okay, so the other thing is also, let's talk about the flip side. Sometimes you probably hear the noise and all the stuff, but maybe the neighbor, they have some kind of what is called the issues, either mental issues, physical issues. So did you hear about those kind of situation on the other side?
Yes. The problem is, number one, you don't know how mental, if that's a proper medical terminology, you don't know how mental that person is. So, we all hear about road rage, which is a mental problem of some sort, but of varying degrees with different people. So how do you deal with this neighbor who's walking past your house and yelling at you? In one case we read about, someone was coming knocking on their door with their German Shepherd and, making them scare the people. But at what point, if you fight back, talk back, at what point does this person go over the edge if it's rage, and take physical action against you? So you don't know. Okay. So the important thing to do with this early on is usually consult with your local police. I'm not saying call 911 and have them come out right away, because that may just inflame the situation more. But go down to the precinct, talk to the community policing officer or one of the detectives, and just say, look, this is the problem I'm having. Is there anything that can be done? That's a start. Again, depending upon if they're interfering with your use of your property, and if you're living in fear, that's an interference in the use of your property, then it may be a criminal act on that part, more likely a civil act, but you can go to court and seek an injunction. A lot like spousal domestic partners, spouses could get restraining orders. I mean, it's not as easy, but you can get a restraining order. You can get it if you're in fear. You could get an injunction to prohibit this person from doing this action. And the odds are they're not going to fight that lawsuit.
Yeah.
Especially if you have pictures and
Videos and
videos and you document it well. You keep a diary
right
of everything that happens. And then if they violate a restraining order or violate an injunction, which says you can't do this anymore, then they could be arrested for that.
Okay.
But then you look at how mental are they? I mean, the fact is that the court system, the police department, how equipped are they to deal with mental issues that may be causing this thing?
Yeah.
That's always a problem. And homeless people in the street are a good example. Yeah. They're not criminals. Even the ones that walk up to the street and start yelling and talking or spitting or whatever, they're not doing this because they're angry at you. They're doing it because they're mentally ill.
Yeah, true.
So, how do you deal with social issues in a legal system? Very difficult.
Very difficult, yeah. Mm-hmm. Now, Bart, with this same subject, now I have the real estate question is, Florida is the state, the real estate disclose. Now, if my seller is selling the property because of getting disturbed by the neighbor, and then if the buyer asks, why are you selling? So what are the consequences on this?
Okay, so you got two questions there. You ask, does the buyer have to disclose? And then does the realtor have to disclose? Okay, so the law as to what you must disclose is something that is not visible, and which a neighbor who comes around once in a while is not visible. You can't see that on an inspection. And does it materially affect the value of the property? That's a judgment call.
Okay.
Do I have to sell my house for less? I mean, it's okay to say, you know what, I just don't get along with the neighbors, which is the truth.
Yeah.
I'd rather move somewhere where I could be more friendly with my neighbors. Okay. Maybe it's just me. I don't know, but or I found a nicer house somewhere. Does that neighbor materially affect the value of the property? Probably not.
It's true. Yeah, it's true.
And then, you don't have to disclose every single thing about the property. Only if it's not obvious and it materially affects the value of the property. Now, I did have a case where every time they showed the house, the person came over and started yelling at the people, at the buyers, potential buyers. So yeah. They didn't have to disclose anything.
Yeah, like it can be, say, suppose somebody's selling the house. Oh, my neighbors are, they play loud music. Now the new buyer say, I love it because I play loud music too. Then it's a different story.
Well, the thing is, if there are police reports, well, then you may have to disclose it.
Okay.
If it's gotten to that level, but if the realtor has no knowledge, they do not have to disclose.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
Okay, perfect.
And then you come to, I get calls all the time from realtors. The seller told me this. Does this have to be disclosed? So.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So got it. So,
yeah. And again, just like every closing is different, every need to disclose is different based on the circumstances.
Right, exactly. Because something can be disturbance for somebody, some family, and not for somebody else. Or again, I like the point you discussed that, is it affecting the value of the home?
Materially.
Yeah, so that makes sense. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Bart. So a lot of great information, and definitely I suggest all of you to reach out to Bart, his office. Bart, what's the website or the phone number someone can reach out to?
Well, we're at www.strocklaw.com is our website. My direct number is 954-634-1769 or bstrock@strocklaw.com.
Yeah, bstruck@strock.com. Okay, that's the easy way to reach out to you. Thanks, Bart. Thanks again for sharing all the information. I hope this definitely help our audience, the realtors who are watching, the clients who thinking of selling or buying their home. Definitely reach out to Bart. Any legal question you have, real estate related law questions, and I'm here, Sean. From REMAX, anything with real estate, we are here to help you guys.
So
Thanks
we
for
don't get
watching.
to sing or no singing or dancing? Oh.
It's Tuesday, 12 o'clock. It's not even Friday, 5 o'clock.
Have a great day, Sean. Thanks for inviting me. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you, Bart. Thanks for coming here and sharing your knowledge. Thank you, guys. See you
Bye-bye.
another episode of Pro Advice. And thanks, Bart, again. Bye.